So here's why I choose to do my repetitions more slowly than you might see most people doing them, and even people doing high intensity training. The truth is, a slower repetition is going to be safer. All right. With all else equal, if you're taking a set to the point of failure or doing any exercise with a huge amount of intensity, it's all going to be relatively the same in terms of effectiveness. But doing repetitions with more control, slower changes in direction, controlling the negative phase, it's going to be a heck of a lot safer. And a lot of times when I coach people and I tell them to slow down the repetitions, makes it more challenging, thereby increasing the intensity of effort, making it more effective. So I'm going to show you the reason behind doing slower, more controlled repetition cadences. Okay? Really, it all comes down to the change in direction. You want the change in direction and the lowering phase to be intentionally slow. But after you get to about rep 3, maybe 4, you're actually going to be trying to lift the weight as quickly as possible. But your muscles are going to be so fatigued and you're going to be using an adequate resistance where you couldn't possibly lift the weight quickly. For instance, if I put a ton of weight on this chest flying machine and try to lift it quickly, that's about as fast as I can go. If I change direction slowly, so really, my repetitions are done with intentionally slow changes in direction and intentionally slow lowering phase, but kind of an intentionally fast lifting phase. But if the weight is adequate and you are adequately fatiguing your muscles, you simply couldn't lift it fast anyway. So, and the reason I choose to change direction slowly comes down to external force. Okay? Force equals mass times acceleration. Now, if we come back and change direction and accelerate through, we're going to be producing external forces that are going to be transmitted to our connective tissues, and it's going to increase the likelihood of injury. Okay. So the reason we want to change direction slowly is to reduce that external force and make the exercises safer. Now, some people might think that changing direction quickly or with explosiveness is going to increase explosiveness that is going to transfer to sports or activities. But this is nothing but an overpopular myth. There is nothing in exercise physiology or research and literature that suggests lifting explosively makes you more explosive in other activities. It'd be impossible to measure. So it's just kind of wishful thinking, all right? And if lifting explosively did transfer to more explosiveness in other activities, it better be extremely noticeable in order to justify the increase in injury risk by changing direction explosively. Think about it. It better be a night and day difference between lifting explosively or lifting with more control when it comes to improvement in other activities or athletic performance to justify doing something that is obviously dangerous. Okay? Another reason why I choose to change direction slowly is, especially on an exercise like this, a lot of the times when you're in a position where you're changing direction in a position of passive insufficiency, all right, where the muscle is stretched. A stretched muscle cannot produce as much force as a muscle that is somewhere in the middle of its contraction phase. Okay, and the reason is the actin and myosin filaments do not overlap as much. Therefore, there's a reduction in the amount of force due to the length-tension relationship. Now, if we're swinging weight in a position where the muscle is weak, even higher likelihood of injury. Okay, so for all these reasons together, I choose to lower the weight under control. I choose to change direction under control. And really the first couple of repetitions, are intentionally slow contraction phases. But you'll notice as you approach muscle failure, you're actually going to be contracting as fast as you possibly can, and the weight is just not going to be moving quickly. Okay? So that's a brief explanation. Keep in mind, I don't do super slow. What super slow is 10 seconds up, 10 seconds down. What I do is I control the weight, change direction slowly, and control the weight on the contraction phase. There's nothing super slow about the way I train. Super slow would look more like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's super slow. I don't do that. I have nothing against super slow. It's just boring. Okay, so if anybody's under the impression I do super slow training, I do not. That is super slow. But it is extremely wise to control the repetitions, lift a little more slowly, if preserving your joints and your joint health is something that's important to you. Because think about it this way. What sense would it make to build big, strong muscles if you just injure yourself in the process and you're stuck on the couch for 6 months to a year? Exactly. Makes no sense. So that's why I lift and lower slowly. I recommend lifting, lowering slowly, lifting and lowering the weight slowly. Whether you do or don't makes no difference to me. You can lift however you want. You're still going to get results, but I've supervised over 25,000 workouts in my training studios. And by controlling the weight with a change in direction in the lowering phase, nobody's ever gotten hurt, not once. So it is clearly safer. Okay? Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell notification icon so you'll be notified when I give you more evidence-based training recommendations so you can get the best physique possible with the most safety and as little time spent in the gym.